Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. We're doing messages from your shamanic guides today. The shamanic guides give us a spiritual understanding to our challenges that help us to move forward and process things in an easier way. The shamanic guides are neutral. They've got our back, but they're talking to us from this kind of deeper place. So we have 3 piles today. We have pile 1 is Hayagriva, pile 2 the Sakha Christ, and pile 3 is She-Wolf of the South. Timestamps are below and I will see you in your readings. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. In this reading we're giving you a message from the shamanic guides, your shamanic guides. So let's flip over your cards. We've got the 3 of Pentacles and Strength, the King of Cups, Celebrate your wins, Hayagriva, Keeping still, Deep inward journey, you'll be rewarded for the work, Drop the drama, and Her joy overcomes gravity. So pile 1, I feel like there's a situation that you're in that is challenging for you, and it is pulling you out of your spiritual perspective, your spiritual power, and your manifestation power. It's something that just takes you right out, and I feel like it's very heavy. It's like a very, very heavy feeling energy that just feels like it weighs so much on you, and you can't move, you can't think, you can't find your power, you just can't get out. And you really want to get out of this. What your shamanic guides are telling you is that when you contain a lot of tension in one spot, kind of like when a diamond is being formed, there's a lot of pressure and tension under the earth in one area, and there isn't movement. The stones don't, they can't move. And that pressure and tension eventually result in stones and diamonds. And this is what your shamanic guides are kind of pointing to. Keeping still, drop the drama, and deep inward journey, you'll be rewarded for the work. It feels like you're somewhere, like you're being held somewhere that's painful and really annoying, and you want to get out. It's really triggering you. It's like being held underwater and needing to come up. And your shamanic guides, who are very non-polarized, who are neutral, are telling you drop the drama, as in it's okay. Understand the higher perspective of this, that you are being held in this situation you don't like because it's forcing you deeper and deeper down into yourself, into your power, into that diamond-like nature that is buried somewhere. And the only way for you to go deep and find this part of you is to kind of be cloistered in this uncomfortable space. And we hear a lot about this kind of energy from Carl Jung, who speaks about how discomfort is part of making the soul, making wholeness, creating enlightenment or individuation. So it really feels like that's what your shamanic guides are telling you, for one. That's kind of the higher perspective. Hayagriva is telling you to adopt the perspective of your higher guidance, because drop the drama. It's like, that's what happens when you complain or you're focusing on the annoyingness of this. Well, Spirit is asking you to focus on the fact that the situation is meant to help you access some inner gold or form some inner diamond within yourself. So Hayagriva says, this energy will motivate you to process and distill spiritual benefit from a current situation of concern. You have the capacity to attract the support needed to rise above any problem and approach it from an entirely different perspective. shifting your vibration and your experience, and then utilizing your experience to evoke a desired manifestation. Strengthen yourself from within and align yourself with that inner realization. Obstacles will be overcome, so do not give up hope or give in to doubt. At the right time, your progress will be swift. We also have Her Joy Overcomes Gravity. So these two cards kind of feel like they're letting you know that your alignment with a higher perspective, you're being steady and stable in this tough situation, and being able to stand in the light of spiritual understanding, higher understanding here, is your way to overcome the heaviness itself. So I feel like celebrate your wins is like a little pointer of how to do this. How do you generate more the joy that will help you overcome gravity? How do you generate alignment with the higher spiritual perspective so that you can rise above whatever this is, or at least rise to the strength needed so that you can sit in whatever this is for long enough until this process is over and the diamond has been formed. So celebrate your wins is helpful for doing that. Celebrating your wins is looking at your progress, how far you've come, how much better you're doing than at the beginning of this challenge, looking at your coping mechanisms, just looking at your resilience and how you've developed within this situation. It will give you a sense that you've moved forward, that you are making progress, and that you're not stuck. And it will give you a sense that your effort is working, and this is just a process, and it's really helpful to just know what you're going through and why, and then it's a lot easier to continue applying yourself for these kinds of long haul challenges, which is what the strength card indicates. So in terms of your tarot, the Three of Pentacles here, we don't necessarily read it this way, but this card to me is just showing like there's just a lot of strange things going on. And it's like, what in the hell? And that's kind of what I feel like that's your experience or you're feeling right now, is what in the hell? Like, what is all this weird SHIT? What is all this weird crap around me? And what am I, like, who am I? What is this? Like, just this face of this character here. It's just like kind of this what is going on vibe. The Three of Pentacles, just the energy of it here is, it's like there's a lot of weird stuff going on in that card. It's just a lot of strange, what the heck kind of energy. Like, what is this? Hello, universe, like spirit, what is going on? Where strength is to hold your center through the experience, to take the experience as a deep dive into yourself. And the King of Cups is the one who comes out on the other side of this reading, someone who is emotionally very stable and strong and capable of holding all these strange and different energies and being unimpacted. So part of your experience could be about emotional mastery, meaning like your shamanic guides are letting you know that that's what you're doing here. That's why you're in this experience. You're asking to become a master of your emotions in some capacity, and that's why you've manifested this experience. But overall, I feel like you aligning with the perspective your shamanic guides hold about this experience is your way to ascend above the experience itself, but also to keep strong through it until you're at that emotional mastery level where this just doesn't bother you. It doesn't touch you at all. And you can exist in it and there's no pull. And what that will indicate to you is that you have healed yourself. Your nervous system has come out of its state of perpetual fight or flight. You've taught yourself that you're safe and you're steady no matter what's going on around you. And the situation you've been stuck in has been getting your goat and bothering you and triggering you. And you're going, why am I here? What is this? How do I get out of this? I'm just complaining about it. And it's just like, just drop the drama, see it through a spiritual perspective, through your shamanic guide's perspective, and that higher perspective will help you ascend through the situation and just hold your center through it until you're at that emotional mastery. So your next card here, Harvest Mother watches over me. This card is about spirit looking out for you while you're kind of dealing with something. Specifically, you're going inward. You're going into a deep inward journey. So for some of you, especially that this is Harvest Mother watches over me, you could be stuck with your parents. You could be stuck with somebody who's kind of taking care of you right now while you're in a more compromised position. But it's like, I feel like this is the universe coming in now, your shamanic guides coming in now at a bit of a more compassionate human level and saying like, loved one, we know you want to be out of this, but right now you're doing a deep inner spiritual journey and you need more support. And although whatever you're experiencing is troublesome, if you're stuck with somebody who's taking care of you, you need that extra support right now because you're doing this deep inward journey. And at the same time, it's like this is the source of the problems itself. So it's like you're very likely working with energies around dependency and parenthood and elevating yourself out of needing other support, or even being vulnerable, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to be in a compromised position, etc. So your final card is Gratitude again, which is to say focus on being grateful for the support that's around you rather than being frustrated by it. Because I feel like pushing against it is also going to keep the universe and other ways of supporting you out, while it keeps this kind of like unwanted mutual situation going. So appreciate what you have, celebrate your wins. It's all about kind of training your focus. So that's your reading, pile 1. Thank you for listening and blessings on your journey. Hi pile 2, welcome to your reading. We're doing a message from your shamanic guides here. So let's flip your cards over and see what your shamanic spirit guides have to share with you at this time. We've got Just Ask, the 7 of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the 2 of Cups. Receiving from Angels, Kissed by Whale Spray, Magic Happens When You Most Expect It, Maiden Magoo, and the Cicada Christ. So with 7 of Pentacles and Cicada Christ, and the Hermit too, there's a situation where you've been asking for something, and haven't necessarily been receiving for a long time. The cicada is a creature that goes underground and for many years, like 16, 17 years, doesn't do anything. And then at whatever right time, it emerges, and they can emerge in like millions and trillions. And so that card is just talking about this journey underground where it looks like nothing's happening or something's dormant for a very long time. And the 7 of Pentacles is similar, where there's a lot of work and energy being put into something and then not receiving. We also have Just Ask and Receiving from Angels here, along with Magic Happens When You Most Expect It. I feel like you're frustrated, like you're asking and asking and asking and asking for the same thing and not getting it. And this reading to me feels a little bit like aggravating, like it's like being told, oh, you just need to ask for help, when you're like screaming for help and you're going, what is going on? Like, what do I have to do differently in order to receive? So there's energy here as well about kind of going into the darkness, going into the cave in order to find something, to dig into something. So Maiden Magoo is just really wrapping up the message here of all of these cards. It says, you're asked to honor that light can come from even the darkest beginnings. In fact, sometimes we need to enter into the unknown parts of ourselves to find exactly what we need to grow in peace, creative self-fulfillment, and happiness. The challenge can be to trust that we will arise from this darker place again. So this is your shamanic guides prompting you to go into the dark place, go into the cave, go into the stop, go into the nothingness, go into the lack, and go explore and see what's there, and trust that you're going to emerge from that time period. I feel like you might have a bit of a weird thing around like law of attraction, where you think that if you spend any time at all dwelling on negative things, that you'll start manifesting that. And I feel like the shamanic guides are coming in and kind of counterbalancing that message that New Age spirituality kind of gives us, which is like, no, you can't go into the shadow. You have to be solely focused on positive. This reading is just prompting you to go into the shadow for a minute. You'll be fine. And I feel like it's also letting you know that when you do go into the shadow, you're going to come out, and you're also going to come out with treasures, with good stuff. Kissed by Whale Spray says, you easily find yourself in the right place at the right time when you follow your heart, even when what your heart tells you goes against all logic. So that really says to me that, again, it's like you're listening to some outside force that tells you can't go into something that you really feel you need to go explore. Some sort of darkness or shadow or negativity that you feel like, I need to look at that for a minute. I need to chew on that. I have to journal about that. And then this other part of you is going like, we can't do that. We're going to manifest bad things. So yeah, I feel like this is a very short message, which is that your shamanic guides are letting you know that it's safe to go into the dark, that this is your way forward at this time, and you will be rewarded for whatever you're doing, and trust that you're going to come out on the other side with more wholeness and connection to yourself, which is the Two of Cups closing your reading there. Magic happens when you most expect it is also to expect good things to come from this. Expect that you're going to go into the cave and find some gems, rather than you're going to go in there and mess everything up. So that's your reading, pile 2. Thank you for listening, and blessings on your journey. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. We're doing messages from your shamanic guides today. So this is the wisdom and guidance that's coming through from your shamanic spirit guides, or the shamanic spirit guides. So let's flip your cards. The Magician, the High Priestess, and the Star. Wow. Embarking on an adventure. Unstick the stuck. Turn your worry into wonder, surrender to the experience. What possibilities can you dream into reality? And you don't know where you are, but you are free. I have to cover this poor lady. So the Magician is just letting you know that you have all the tools and resources at your fingertips in order to achieve something that you're trying to achieve. Turn your worry into wonder, surrender to the experience. This is like there is something unpleasant that you're facing or going through or you're worrying about. Unstick the stuck is like, I feel like paired with unstick the stuck paired with you don't know where you are but you're free. I feel like something's suddenly been taken away from you that was a good thing. It was like, it was going well, it had good momentum, maybe it was like generating money for you, or this was a good relationship. It's like something has suddenly come to an end and you're a little bit, it's like you're wondering what's next. And on one hand, you feel free because this thing was taking up part of your time and energy, but in a good way. And on the other hand, it's like, oh, well, what now? What's next? You don't know where you are, but you are free. It's a little ambivalent. It's like, I'm free, but what now? Like, where am I? What next? What possibilities can you dream into reality? Again, it's like there's an open space now. And what do I fill this with? There's just like what do I do? What do I do now? And there's a questioning of self that kind of comes in when a manifestation like this kind of goes away. And you start thinking, well, I manifested that one. Can't I manifest another one? But yeah, it's just like this kind of awkward in-between place where something good has kind of ended and you're in between and you're waiting for something new. So embarking on an adventure, Surrender to the experience, looking at the possibilities positively, feeling your freeness to create anything, I feel is the message for you here. It's kind of like you can create anything you want. So what are you going to create? Again, the Magician showing you that you have all the resources and all the tools. The High Priestess has all the wisdom, all the know-how, all the deep connection, all the alignment. They're both highly capable, amazing cards. And then the Star is that hopefulness, that perhaps there's been a loss, or like the Star comes after the Tower, some sort of ending, some sort of big change. And then the Star is the hope for what's next, the hope for something bright that's coming. So ending on the Star is being in a bit of a bittersweet energy. And it's a bit of an energy of like, in the Kabbalah, the Star is, I can't remember the Hebrew letter, but the meaning is fish hook. And the energy is about casting your hook into the water and kind of seeing what you can get. And that feels like what this reading is guiding you around. So your shamanic guides are speaking about something that's just ended, this space of new possibility, that you could dream up anything. So what's going to be next? And to kind of remind yourself that you manifested that thing. So there's got to be something cool on its heels. And to feel more excited and eager about what you're creating, because you are this amazing creator and you're so capable. So what'll it be, is what the universe says. What'll it be? And you don't need to worry or feel stuck. Like, there's no stuckness here. It feels like something that's more in your mind, just because of the openness, the vastness. Is kind of like you're faced with the ocean and there's so many possibilities and so much going on that it's like, well, what do I do? I could do anything, but what do I do? So fall in love with your own story is your next card, which is like kind of like embracing your journey. Peacekeeper, interesting. And She-Wolf of the South. She-Wolf of the South. Your past can be a source of beneficial wisdom gleaned through experience rather than a stifling burden of regret, recrimination, and rumination. Decide that you will utilize everything that has happened to grow wiser, to heal yourself, to realize your inner strength. Acknowledge the suffering in what has been, but do not allow it to disrupt or dissuade you from your faithful confidence in your ability to live a more beautiful and healed life. So I feel like whatever you recently kind of went through, you lost something and now you're in this open space. I feel like this has happened to you before in a bigger way. And this, what you just experienced, is like a much lighter, softer manifestation of that past kind of pain of like, oh, I had this good thing going and it suddenly ended. I feel like you went through that before, but in a more painful way that caused a lot of, kind of just really brought you down, and you had to recover from that. And then you did, and then you manifested this good thing, and now it's gone. And now again, it's like you're faced with this space of possibility. And I feel like there's a little bit of contempt around just the unfolding of your story. So fall in love with your own stories. Like, there's a bit of sadness around how you have to start over all the time. And how it's like you keep facing this space of nothing, this space of sacred possibility of nothingness, but it's feeling heavy for you right now. And your shamanic guides are asking you to embrace this way of being, that you are, it's kind of like you're one of the holders of the sacred void. It's what I'm getting from this high priestess and from the shamanic guides, and I'm just feeling that moving through my whole self, like the holder of the sacred void, where all things are made from, where all things come from. And that part of you really delights in having this blank canvas every now and then. It's like you want to completely level your entire life and start over, and then do that again, and do that again, and do that again. And part of you is like, I'm tired, I'm done with that. it feels heavy, but your spiritual shamanic part is like reveling in having access to that creative void. And where do you want to go now? You could have anything. So where do you want to go? And it's kind of about taking that up as your power. It's like that is a power of yours that has been impacting you negatively, and it's hurt you, and it's felt bad. And so it's been more a shadow thing than something positive. But it feels like now you have the opportunity to make peace with this energy, this part of you that is constantly destroying and rebuilding. This energy for you, as I said, it's like this has been a shadow piece of you, a part of you, like your gold that's been hidden in the shadow, that's kind of come out in this way that's unsettling, that keeps destabilizing you and removing things from your life, good or bad. It's just this constant flow of change. And your shamanic guides are saying this is a gift of yours, and you can use it in this new powerful way as it's come into the consciousness more. It's become something that you can wield more consciously. It's a tool you can hold, as the magician says, that you can create anything now. So what'll it be? So find a way to think in a more positive way about how your life has gone, where you've had this experience of built up, tear down, built up, tear down, having stuff faced with nothing, having a life, having friends, having to move and lose everything. Like this journey of yours where it's destruction, creation, like facing the void over and over and over. You're reconciling this within yourself. You're healing your relationship to that piece of you, and it's becoming something that's not as much of a burden, but it's more of a gift that you're wielding. So I'll leave you to figure that out. So thank you, Pile 3. That's your reading. Thanks for listening, and blessings on your journey.